Today we're going to use IOD transfers to make this using these wood blanks. Hi, are you ready to go on a furniture restoration adventure with me? Come on, let's go. Hi, I'm Leslie Johnson from Layla's Landing. Today we're going to use IOD transfers to make this using these wood blanks. You can do it on both sides if you want, if you're using it for ornaments, or you can also use it for Christmas tags for your gifts. And I have here the Iron Orchid Design, I don't know what you call it. I just call it a tablet. But it's got, this one is smaller than some of them, and it's got 8 pages. And I took out 1 page, and it's Iron Orchid Designs, and we all call them IOD for short because Iron Orchid Designs is long. Whenever you order them, you can see what you get by looking at the very back. And that helps you also with size. Some of these are huge. I mean, they go on dressers, and others go on things like this, or this, or even this. And I'm going to show you how to do that next. Anyway, I've taken a page out of the tablet, and I'm going to use one of these. I think I'll use the snowman. What you do here is you take your scissors, and if you're worried about evenness, you can cut along the black line, giving yourself room to see the black line, so you can line up your edges of the wood blank here. And then that way you can make sure it's straight. Now, it comes stuck to this little slick thing, and you take your design and you put it right side up because you don't want an upside down ornament. And what I do is I put the black line along the very edge of the ornament, and then I look to see if it's way out of whack centered, and since it's not, I go ahead and lay it down. Sometimes it's not centered at all, and you have to just eyeball it to make it straight. And then once you have this, it's stuck on there, so you should not ever lift it up and replace it, because it's going to already have stuck to the wood. So once you remove the slick back, you take this tool, which comes in every single pack, and you just press along it. I like to use it like it's a pencil, because I feel like I can get most coverage. And all you're doing is going back and forth on your transfer. Now, once you've tried it, you can pull it back. And I'm not sure you can see, but right here has not stuck. So you just close it back up. You have not moved your little snowman because he's adhered elsewhere. And so where it did not stick, you just go over it again. And then you continue on. Now, there are some people who have actually removed these and had things that weren't stuck, and they can line them well by just putting them back on. I try never to do that because I'm just really worried that I will put a branch on the wrong place, or it'll be floating instead of part of a tree. So I always am connected to the transfer. See, and then I take this down at the bottom, and this being my finger, sorry, I'm still not used to videoing. And then you see I've done it. And here is the snowman. And he is affixed. But the first thing you do after you get that is you do this to make sure that it really stuck down good. Now, I also have mirrors that I am going to drill a hole in. And what you do next, I did this in front of my TV. So see, you might not want to do this Santa Claus if you don't want to take off his boots or cut his feet off. Or you could do something like this, which is obviously another ornament, an ornament and an ornament. Or you can come over here and you can say, wait, I think this is the same thing, but I'm not sure. Oh no, it's this one I wanted. There's things like this that will work and this that will work. And this, you'll cut it off. You want to keep the flame. I mean, if you're going to have a candle, you need to have the flame. And so you're going to cut off the very bottom. So you might not want to do that. If you wanted to have a lot of background, you could do this bottle. It's not a medicine man or a witch's brew. It's frankincense is what it says on the jar. So that's why it's in the Christmas. And see, it will fit. So I forgot what I was going to do. Oh, I remember now. And this is a mirrored thing, and it comes with plastic on it, and I tried really hard to have it started so I wouldn't have to do this in front of the camera. And see, now it's a mirror. And the one, in case I didn't make it clear, I'm going to do this one. And I could have pre-cut this out, but I wanted you to be able to see, because sometimes, for example, right here, this tree edges, I mean, just a millimeter, oh, maybe or two away from this package. So you have to be pretty careful, because they use as much as they possibly can of all of this blank space. So I usually, when it's attached like that, do it this way, and then I do it this way. And now you can see there's not any lines that I can use to line this up, and it's also round, so it's not really going to be that easy. So what I do is I just eyeball it, holding it above. Once you set it down, there's no telling. It may firmly affix immediately and you have no other options, or you can still lift it up, but we don't like to chance it, because if it's stuck, it's stuck. These are very hard to find when you're trying. So now I am going to affix this to the mirror. And I wanted to do the mirrors because I think with the lights on the ornaments, your Christmas tree lights will make it really cool looking. Uh-oh. Oh no, I did it right. Did I do it right? Yeah, I did it right. Sometimes I don't take the white off and I'm going like this, and then I realize, oops. Now, if you look at this, right here it goes off. So I'm just gonna use my finger to take that off, because I don't want it to rip up. And then on the other side, I just fold it over. I didn't feel that it was that big of a deal to have part of a leaf off, especially a holly leaf. There's enough on here to know that they're all holly leaves. Okay, now I'm going to show you. I don't think all of it's come off, but let's see. See right here, the tip of that holly leaf for some reason. It's a very teeny tiny bit, but it's coming off really well, which is surprising because it usually doesn't in my living room. Might be because it's nice and warm here. Here it is. And that's going to really play off the lights, especially if you have white lights. I'm not sure that I told you this time, but I'm sure I've told you previous times. I'm making Christmas ornaments for my grandsons. They're not going to appreciate them now. I mean, as an 8-year-old boy, you're not going to care about an ornament like this. But when they get older, like adults, and have their own children, they will have grandma's Christmas ornaments. And so I have 3 grandsons, and I'm making everything times 3. Now, I have a bigger one of these wood blanks, and so I can use this, and I'll have to center it, and there'll be a lot of wood. I can use one of these small ones, but that's really small. So I can come over here with, this is a totally different pack, and I'll show you. And I have another pack here. It doesn't have as many small items, but it's very cute. I tried making just candy ornaments, but it just looks like a pile of transfers of candy, so I'm not going to use these candy ornaments, even though they look really cool. So I had previously chosen the Frankenstein ornament, or do I want to change my mind and do this one? This one actually works really well. It fills up the whole piece of wood. The thing that you want to watch out for when you cut things off or affix things is that you don't want to put a transfer on a piece of wood of, say, a bird. This bird, you can tell, this owl, you can tell is on this branch. But if you just put him on the piece of wood without a branch, it looks like he's just hanging in the middle of the air. Same way with tree trunks. If you don't have a tree trunk and you just have a branch or a stem and you don't put it all the way to the edge, it looks like it just appears out of thin air. And that's, I mean, I've done a few of those, and it's, nobody seems to notice, but I don't like it. All right, so I take this, and I take this, and I know that part of it's not going to fit. So what I try to do is make sure the candle is in the center and mostly straight. And the other thing is these are so lightweight, they're easy to, oh no, oh, whew. It did not affix because I didn't want the flame off. You don't, if you have a flame, you want the flame to be on the candle. So I'm trying to talk cheerfully because I know that's good, but it's really hard to do this and be cheerful. There. So now you can see that it comes off of the bottom of the transfer, or of the wood blank. So I like to try to do that right away, just so I cut it off, because I don't want it to be pulling or anything else. So, or sometimes it tries to come back up and it fixes itself, and it's just not good if the back of this is on the front. So I'm just trying to see, and now you see this went all the way over, so I just tuck that over and press. Same way this is done, this is done. And now I can work on my candle. And I didn't make the candle perfectly in the center because the last one I did, the candle went right in the hole, and once you put the hanger on, you're not really going to see the the flame anyway, so that's why I put it just off to the side a little bit. A lot of times, at least when I was doing this in the living room, these little tiny needles just don't want to be transferred. And I mean, I'm here to tell you, sometimes I've pressed on them 3 times. See, like these needles did not transfer. And now they're gone, so that's good. So you just have to go back and press on it again, no matter how many times. Sometimes little tiny twigs or needles or other little bits just would not transfer. So what I did is I went this way, and then I went that way, and then I turned it, and then eventually it came off. I don't know if that means there was something that I could not detect on the piece of wood, but just did not want to come off. Now see, if you look here, this needs to be there, and there's a little needle that needs to go off there. And also I found that doing the edges seems to be hard for me. I don't know why. I mean, there, this edge is really working fine, but sometimes, even though I think I've gone over the edge, I just have not. Now, look, it's totally clear. I can just take this, and you take the slippery side, not the matte side, and you just affix it. And one more, but first I want to talk about this. IOD also has molds, and this is their air dry clay. I did 2 of them, so it's going to be 2-sided, but you can just do it 1-sided, and this is the mold. I also have molds that will that I will use resin for, but I didn't want to do resin on video because I don't have any way to extract the poison out of here, and this is a very small garage, so the toxicity, not the poison. So I all this is air dry clay out of the molds. You put cornstarch in, as you can see, and then they'll lift up, and then you can paint them however you want. I did these yesterday, and they're still not quite dry, so I'm just going to wait until they dry totally. And then I also, last week, just did ornaments 1-sided. Okay, so next one is going to be, I could do another one of these, but I think you get the idea with the wood blanks. So the next one is going to be something medium small. They also give you a lot of holly for you to use however you want. You can cut it in half, you can cut it in quarters, you can cut it so it's just the tip. See, all of these are way too big for my plastic ball. These are all from the Dollar Tree. I could do Santa maybe, but I think he would wrap around to the bottom, and so I don't want to do that. So I think I already looked at this one, so I'm going to look at this one. I could do this and maybe this on the other side, and I think that's what I'll do. Now, one of the things you need to understand about doing a sphere is that they don't want to lay flat because you're going around curves. And I was thinking about this and what I would say about that, because I know a lot of people are excellent at this and they can make it seamless, but I like the homemade look and not being perfect, so I just do it this way. I don't make release cuts or anything. I just do it this way, and I like it. So, and I'm using the medium-sized ball, and I try to put it in the middle because sometimes I put it in the up there and then you can't see it, and it's really a bummer because you did all this work. So I place it and it's affixed, but I'm not pressing down all over because it is a sphere and it does want to wrinkle. So I always start out on one side, and what's nice about this is, as you can see, it really lifts up as you go. Oh, this one didn't get done. And that is good since it is a sphere and it's not as easy. I've had some where I've had a whole wrinkle on a bird, but each time I get a little bit better. And I find just going by the sides of the transfer, you get a lot less wrinkles and you don't really need any release cuts, or at least I don't. And I love poinsettias, and this one is very pretty. Now, if you look here, right on top, those berries did not want to go down. And there's a little teeny speck that's probably smaller than a period on your computer right there. And then I'm going to run over this just one more time to make sure. And it's all off. And it's pretty good. There's no wrinkles. Down here and around the berries, there's a little bit of drag, but it's nothing bad. And then, oh, I should do this again because I worry about it. There. And then I'm going to put this side of the poinsettias on just for fun. And I got this side, and I'm going to kind of try to go down the middle of the opposite side and use that base or that side to affix this poinsettia. And I don't know, do you say poinsettia or do you say poinsettia? I've always said poinsettia, but then someone corrected me, so for a while I said poinsettia, but I kind of reversed back. And see, these plastic balls are really sort of fun because you barely have to press and the transfer works. And meanwhile, back to the ornaments in my grandson's. Now see, normally I would not do plastic because number one, I don't like the use of plastics, and number two, I like glass balls, but we're talking 10-15 years. My one grandson is only 1.5, so it's going to be quite some time before he's ever going to want to decorate a tree. And so it's got to be unbreakable. And as you can see, I am going side to side, and I'm not affixing this side because if you do, it will cause a wrinkle. It'll kind of scrunch up for the roundness. One thing before I forget is these things are, there's a lot of them. You end up with a lot of them if you buy more than one of these pads, but they're very losable. I have probably 10, and they're like scissors. You can't find them. I'm done here. I really like this one. One thing that I have been stressing over is that transfers do scratch, and it's not, you know, if you didn't have to pack this and leave it somewhere for years and years, you probably wouldn't put a top coat on. But like I said, this could be 20 years before my youngest grandson ever has a Christmas tree, or 25. And so I bought clear coat, and I sprayed them all outside because we don't want the toxicity inside. Okay, this is triple thick crystal clear glaze, and I'm just going to do it lightly because these transfers all will scratch off by next year, or scratch, not scratch off. And I might do, oh good. And I'm obviously outside because it's toxic, and I'm wearing a mask. And this is a giant experiment because I don't know if this is going to affect the actual balls, but I need to do something to protect them. Oh, and I didn't wear my safety glasses. Woo! Hopefully when it's done dripping, I mean when it dries, it'll be clear. Clear red. Okay, this is a clear one. I didn't want to ruin one that I've already done because this is taking off some of the Dollar Tree paint on the ornaments, so I wanted to see what a clear one would dry as. The instructions say that they want it wet, which is why I have drips and some other things over here. We're just going to see how all of it works out. And at first it was like a tragedy. I mean, it was like, oh my God, this is dripping and this is this and this is that. But as time goes on and as it dries, it's drying clear. There might be some drips, but it's okay. So I wanted to show you some of my other examples of the IOD transfers that I have done. Oh. I wanted to show you some of the transfers that I've done with other pieces of wood. I think this is the one we did. But here's, I love these. I'm not sure. I think they could just be good to put all over your house. Just secret little spots, like you come around the corner on the steps and you see this during Christmas. I got a lot of these, and I will probably use some of them as tags and some of them as Christmas decorations. And I will also clear coat these. Even though they're wood and they're probably more stable, I'll still clear coat these. And this is myrrh, not frankincense. And this is a gingerbread man, obviously. And here's, it's probably not Bambi, but it looks like Bambi. And here's some larger pieces of wood that I, some of them do have holes, some do not, and I will have to drill holes in them. Here's a mouse. I just think this one's so cute. Another candle. This one will probably go to my daughter because I don't think boys are ever going to like these cute little flower things. Santa Claus, Christmas tree. And then I also bought these wood rounds, and they are really fun. Some of them, and there's a hole in them. This one happens to need puncturing, but some of them don't actually look Christmassy like this one, but it's an ornament. And it came with 3 different sizes. I tried to use most of the sizes that were big, just because it's really hard to get them all on. I did do this one 2-sided. This one's just holly. This one's a white-tailed deer. Rabbit. Raccoon. It's a badger. This is a hedgehog. I would like to have a hedgehog, actually. And I also did more. Mirrors. I have more, but I didn't actually find them. Maybe this. Oh, here's another deer one with a mirror. Present. Bluebird. Little tiny one of a gingerbread man. And finally, I mean, I have a lot more of these, but just for brevity's sake, I'm going to show you these. I painted this. It's Jamie Ray Vintage Cottage Color. I believe it's a cool mint. I can't remember the exact name, but these are cardinals. Rabbit. And I will need to, I hate it when I say I will need to drill holes in this or just have them for windowsill type designs. Hedgehog. Look at this bird. This is nice. And then 2 raccoons and our favorite Santa Claus. So that's, well, I could show you some of these. 2 birds. I really like this because it fills up the whole thing, and yet it's just blue berries and red berries, not blueberries. And a wreath that went off of the edge. This is almost like a painting of a deer or reindeer. It's because it had a background. Another cardinal, different type. Christmas tree. Snowman, my favorite. 2 Santas. 1, 2. Another poinsettia. I decided I wanted the feet. I'm not sure if I should have kept the feet, but I kept the feet, and the bird is on the fawn. And here's the one I told you about. I just put candy on there, and it just looks like I used candy on a transfer. It just doesn't really, it doesn't float my boat, let's say that. And another deer. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me in my next videos. Please like and subscribe. It could even be my Christmas present from you. And even if you don't like and subscribe, I really hope you have a nice, wonderful holiday with all of your friends and family. Thank you.